All right, so we're down here on the Detroit River in 34 to 36 feet of water, going almost as shallow as 31. And we've got some walleyes on the bottom there. And what we've discovered is actually a different technique that really will trigger a feeding response. You know, it's vertical jigging is kind of the standard, but sometimes they're a little fussy about that. And so we've kind of come into a different pattern where what I'm doing is I'm actually putting my boat using the Humminbird electronics and the Minn Kota iPilot system. I'm putting it on a troll, and I'm going, you know, using the due north button. I'm going and setting it so the motor is going to correct itself and stay on a straight path. What that's going to allow me to do is actually cast upstream, which is contrary to typically what we want to do vertical jigging. Vertical jigging, we want to go downstream, slipping at the same current as the river speed. In this technique, what we're doing is we're actually casting upstream and bouncing that back. So we're, you know, casting, letting it drop to the bottom, and then we're yo-yo retrieving that back. Similar to jigging vertically, except, you know, now we're pulling it. And what that's doing is it's triggering a really nice response on those walleye that we're a little bit fussier with that true vertical presentation. Now, there are a lot of rocks and gravel and snags down on the bottom of the river here. So we want to make sure that we have a clean bottom, and being familiar with the water down here is really kind of critical. But you know, this has been a tremendous pattern for us the last couple days. So let's see if we can get a few more doing that. I've got a nice water clarity today. It's about 2 feet or so. You know, we like a little bit of a stain. That way the walleyes can't see real well. And there's a little bit of chalk. So this is a perfect technique for it. So all I'm doing for this technique is just the same as, you know, the vertical presentation. I've got a 1 ounce jig here with a Lunker City finesse fish. This actually happens to be the Pimp Daddy color. I do have a stinger hook on here, and I like it to be about the same length as the bait profile itself. But all I'm doing is just like the vertical, I'm just letting it fall to the bottom and yo-yo retrieving that back. You know, and for this, I'm using a 7-foot medium heavy G Loomis walleye rod. You know, I think it's the perfect setup for this technique. I like a casting gear. It just tends to, I think, work a little bit better for me to be more sensitive, but spinning outfit would work just fine. So a nice long cast, leave the bail open, let it sink to the bottom. And there it's on the bottom. So I'm going to engage the reel, and I'm just going to lift it like that. Wait for the jig to fall. And I like my rod tip about a 10 o'clock, you know, angle. 10 o'clock, that allows me some space to set a hook nicely. And I'm constantly looking at my graph to see if I'm in the right depth zone, but also to see what contours are on the bottom and to know if I've got fish on the bottom, which I do. So I just passed over some nice fish, so I'm expecting a bite. Like I just got one there and I missed them. Here we go. That one hit on the fall. Doesn't feel real big. And look at this, perfect. That fish ate it. So it's not a snagging technique at all. They're actually chasing this thing down. They're eating it. You know, he's got it in the main hook. And, you know, that's awesome. We're gonna let this one live. It's a nice 15-inch walleye, but, you know, casting out and jigging it back, what a riot. I like it. For more information, or if you're looking for a captain or guide in the state of Michigan, please give Sportfish Michigan a call or check us out on the web, sportfishmichigan.com.